Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a very interesting one, and it's something I really enjoyed writing the script for. We are basically going to be battling out 10 different movie monsters against each other, but to make it fair, I've put them in categories in which they have like the same characteristics, the same abilities. I think this is just going to be really interesting. Let's get into these 10 movie monsters. So for our first round, we have the sharks. In particular, we will be battling out the Mako sharks in Deep Blue Sea versus the one and only Jaws. The Mako sharks in Deep Blue Sea were genetically engineered in the hopes of getting a cure for Alzheimer's disease, but as a result of this, it gave them the abilities of superhuman intelligence, enhanced senses and strength, ability to swim backwards, which is just so messed up, strategizing their kills, and silent swimming. I mean, I feel like sharks are pretty silent when they swim anyway, but that's terrifying. So normally Mako sharks are roughly 8 to 12 feet long, but the ones in the film are much bigger due to being genetically engineered. So this was just another consequence of that experiment. The scientists increased their brain size, which had the side effect of making them grow to an enormous size, the largest reaching 45 to 67 foot long. And then we have the shark from Jaws. The great white shark in Jaws is infamous for its thirst for blood and has the following abilities: high intelligence and ability to intimidate its victims, immense overall strength and jaw strength, stealth-like hunting skills, and immense strength and endurance. Great whites are normally around 11 to 16 feet long, though the shark in the film is portrayed as about 25 foot long. So based on a one-on-one battle, I think I've got to give it to the Mako sharks from Deep Blue Sea. Given the fact that they are a lot bigger than Jaws and the fact that they are genetically engineered, which makes them extremely intelligent and have like superhuman strength, as much as Jaws is, powerful, speedy, and really agile in water and is a great white shark and is just terrifying, I still think the Mako shark would win in a battle against Jaws. I mean, swimming backwards, that's got to help in battle, surely. Yeah, I'm confident in saying Deep Blue Sea takes the win here. Next up, we have The Thing from The Thing and The Entity from It Follows. Both incredible films, might I add. So The Thing is an extremely hostile shape-shifting extraterrestrial organism. Its only purpose is to survive, and it does this by assimilating with other life forms in order to spread. So its skills are assimilating and replicating its victims, so it pretends to be them after killing them. I'm not sure if they can replicate someone they haven't killed though. You're gonna have to tell me in the comments, because I can't actually remember in the film if it can do that. But yeah, being able to just pretend to be someone, but you're actually an alien, is terrifying. Every part of The Thing is a potential autonomous creature, which again, you see in The Thing quite a lot. And I think this just makes it the creepiest part about it. It's vulnerable to fire and potentially molecular acid, since both destroy the creature at a cellular level. So in the film, you can see that the infected blood reacts to the heat on that bit of metal when it touches it, just because it's trying to protect itself and trying to survive and not be killed. So moving on to The Entity from It Follows. The Entity is a malevolent force of mysterious origins that follows its victims regardless of their location or distance and attempts to brutally kill them upon making contact. Similar to a sexually transmitted disease or STI, the entity is summoned to a new victim when that person engages in sexual intercourse with someone who is currently the entity's prey, or infected, I guess. The monster will only follow one person at a time, so that's a little bit different to The Thing, who is just going for everyone, but will attack any individual that gets in the way of its pursuit of the victim. It's invisible to anyone who hasn't contracted its sexually transmitted curse, but is visible to those who have been exposed to the curse, even if they are not currently its prey. The entity moves slowly, usually at a walking pace, and can take the form of any person, including the friends and loved ones of its victims, giving it the ability to trick the victim into letting it get close to them. The film leaves it open at the end as to whether this entity can be killed or not, so It's just very mysterious in its nature. This is a difficult one. So, the thing, it can attack anyone at any given time. It can pretend to be another person or another creature. I don't know if the entity can pretend to be an animal. I don't think it can. The thing can also separate itself into different little creatures in order to survive, essentially, but the entity doesn't do that. The thing is a lot faster than the entity, but I don't know if the entity can actually be killed. And that's what's stopping me here. If we agreed that the entity could be killed in some way, then I guess the thing would win the battle here, because it has got everything and more that the entity does have. Theoretically speaking, you could trap the entity in a prison or like a cell or something, because I don't think it can go through walls. It's not like a spirit. So this was really difficult, but I'm going to go with the thing. Please do let me know if you agree with me on this one. Now we have the Battle of the Aliens. In this battle, we have the one and only Xenomorph from Alien and Death Angels from A Quiet Place. So xenomorphs are extremely deadly and hostile creatures that require a host organism in order to reproduce. And I'm not really going to get into this because it's just disgusting, and I want to keep this PG. The appearance of the xenomorph can vary depending on the host in which the embryo is implanted, but the human phenotype is generally around 7 to 9 feet tall in height and with a long muscular tail and large curved oblong head. I love the Alien films. Oh my god. This is just making me want to watch Alien. Just a little note here, if you haven't watched Alien Earth yet, go watch it. It's incredible. Xenomorphs are noted for their ferocity and deadliness in any condition. They are masters of stealth and are extremely robust with their armour-like skin, are incredibly fast and able to climb up walls and along ceilings. They kill their victims by either stabbing them with their tails or the lovely inner jaw. Their acidic blood is also a benefit to their survival, as an attacker could be harmed or killed in the process of trying to kill the xenomorph. Xenomorphs are vulnerable to fire and high energy beam weapons and can also be killed by decapitation. Death Angels are an alien species, like the xenomorphs, with incredible hearing, which they use to locate and attack anything that makes even the slightest sound. Their near indestructible armour allows them to resist many kinds of weaponry. Due to originating from a lightless planet with higher gravity than Earth, they are completely blind and their bodies are so dense that they quickly drown in deep water. The creatures are slightly taller than a human and walk on all fours, with arms drastically larger than their legs, which allows them to jump large distances. Due to their claws and great strength, they are very adept at climbing flat or even glass surfaces and are able to run extremely fast. Under multiple sections of armour-like plates, they have ears and flesh. Their armour plates can be held open if they want to listen to deeper and smaller sounds, but their ears are vulnerable to conventional weapons, so they only briefly lift their plates if they feel safe to do so. In fact, their ears are so delicate that high-frequency sound waves will make them uncontrollably squeal in pain, thereby accidentally opening up their armour plates on their ears and exposing the vulnerable skin underneath. The Death Angels' intelligence is questionable, as they mostly seem driven by instinct, assuming anything they hear is a threat. However, they have been seen screeching to alert others when one has discovered a food source, which shows that they have the ability to communicate with each other. Both of these aliens are slightly taller than a human, though Death Angels, I believe, are more dense due to their origin planet. They both have armor-like skin, so it's near impossible to kill them with conventional weapons. Given that xenomorphs are very intelligent creatures and they do obviously talk to each other, there would be a way for them to make a noise, I think, themselves to actually open up the armor plates on the Death Angel's skull and thereby just kill them that way with their tail or something, stab them in the head. Whereas I think Death Angels are a little bit less intelligent from what I've seen. I haven't seen the third film yet, so I haven't seen them actually communicating with each other. But I think even so, there is a lower level of intelligence there. And I think that if you're reacting purely on instinct, if you're hearing a noise and just thinking that it's danger, I think you're definitely at a disadvantage there. It is unknown, I think, whereas xenomorphs can actually see, because you don't actually see any eyes on them, but they obviously have great hearing as well. And if they do see, then they would be able to just hide from the Death Angel, like on the ceiling or something, and just kill them that way, like using noise. Again, this is a very close one because they're so similar, but I think it comes down to intelligence between these two, and I think the xenomorphs are slightly more advanced as a civilization. So yeah, we're going to give it to Alien. Next up, we have the giants, and battling it out, we have the giant crocodile from Lake Placid and the megalodon from the Meg. So the crocodile from Lake Placid is a giant saltwater crocodile who arrived suddenly at Black Lake, Maine, after having swam there from an unknown location across the Pacific Ocean. The crocodile is 98 feet long and has incredible strength, being able to drag large animals and humans into the lake to eat with its powerful jaw. Being a crocodile, it's extremely agile and quick when in water and hides from its prey before striking. Despite its agility in water, the crocodile is fairly slow when on land, making it an easier target. It also has vulnerable areas on its body, including the eyes, snout, and the underbelly. It's also shown to have poor eyesight and can only notice a human until it moves drastically, which reminds me of something I heard about like T-Rexes, that they won't be able to see you unless you actually move in front of them. So if you're stationary, you're invisible to them. And I don't know whether that's a myth or not, but it's certainly being played on in this film. The megalodon is a giant prehistoric shark with a length of 75 feet. The shark was unexpectedly found in a trench off the coast of China, which was previously hidden beneath a cloud of super cold gas that had concealed its ecosystem and supported the survival of the megalodons. These sharks are fast swimmers and have giant jaws which allow them to swallow prey whole. As other sharks possess, the megalodon has a heightened sense of smell, guiding them to their next victim. The vulnerabilities of the Meg include, surprisingly, its giant size, because it makes it a little less agile in water and not as fast as smaller sharks and fish. It's possible, therefore, that the shark could be defeated by a group of smaller sharks or whales. The megalodon's brain size is smaller in comparison to its body size and more primitive than other predators, which may have made it less adaptable in certain situations. So, given that the crocodile can actually go on land, although it's not very agile on land, but the fact that it can do that is a benefit. It depends where the battle's taking place. Like, if it's in the middle of the ocean, then it can't escape, obviously. But the crocodile is also a little bit larger than the megalodon, so that will always help. Given that sharks arguably can swim faster than crocodiles, that would mean that it can get away if it's being chased, and I guess it could also catch up with the crocodile a lot quicker. So, this again would be an extremely close call, but I think I'm going to go with the megalodon being the winner in this because it's just a bit quicker, and I know it's a little bit smaller than the crocodile, but it's still a massive size, and it would be able to catch up and eat the crocodile. Not whole, obviously, because it's a little bit bigger, but yeah, I still think Megalodon's gonna win this one. And lastly, we have the superhumans. And in this battle, we have the Creeper versus the Predator. I'm so proud of these categories. I think they match each other so well, and it just makes it more difficult to actually figure out who's actually going to win. But anyway, the Creeper is an ancient demonic creature who feeds on humans for 23 days every 23rd spring. You know the drill if you've watched it. In the comics, the Creeper orchestrated a human sacrifice in Aztec times and was responsible for the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. The Creeper is basically a superhuman monster, possessing abnormal strength, durability, endurance, stamina, and senses, which include his ability to smell fear in people, which is terrifying. As well as this, he also wields weapons very well, his favourite, of course, being an axe. To travel, he drives a creepy serial killer truck with apparently a race car engine, which is also a death trap itself, as we find out in the third film. But he also has a pair of giant bat wings, which gets him to places a lot quicker than the truck does. He also uses this ability to stalk and capture his prey. It's virtually impossible to kill the creeper, as he's able to regenerate any part of his body if it's too old or injured by eating the same part from another person. So headshots do not work on this creature. Despite the fact that the creeper doesn't speak, it does show intelligence by driving a truck, using weapons, having a hobby of taxidermy, and showing some human emotions like anger and amusement. It may not be that he actually understands these emotions, but just that he's learnt them like a parrot would, I guess. So the creeper is intelligent and may possibly have its own language that it doesn't have to use in the presence of humans. Predator is an alien warrior who is physically distinguishable from humans due to its greater size and armour. They possess many personal strengths, such as superhuman strength, so much so that they can manhandle xenomorphs. Their bone and muscle is much denser than humans, making them resilient to physical damage, including gunshots, radiation, and bacteria. Their advanced technology allows them to make themselves invisible and aim at victims using targeting systems. The Predator already has enhanced vision in detecting heat differences, which their technology does help even more with. They're also extremely good hunters, climbing with ease and moving stealthily from trees and rooftops, and showing skill in hand-to-hand and blade combat. With all this reliance on technology though, I think if you took it away from the Predator, it would be severely impaired. Another disadvantage is that their bodies have a preference to warm climates and are less effective in colder environments. And although they can withstand higher levels of radiation, they can still be damaged by it. Their code of hunting is also a weakness because their sense of pride makes them agree to fights that they possibly know they may not win. And if they do win, their incessant need to collect trophies can make them vulnerable to surprise attacks. Oh, this might be the hardest one. The creeper can fly and jump across buildings. The Predator can also jump across buildings but can't fly. They both have skin that is either dense or like armor. The creeper has a bit of an advantage here because even if it loses its head, or at least partial part of its head, it can just eat someone else's head. And I know the creeper is more ancient because it's an ancient demon, and therefore his weapons would be a little bit more dated than the Predator's. But he still wields weapons very, very well. And being able to smell your victim as well without actually having to see them. Whereas the Predator can see heat differences, but I guess you'd have to be in the presence. He'd have to be able to see his victim to actually see heat differences. So I think the creeper is going to win. As soon as you take away the technology from the Predator, the creeper definitely has a clear advantage. Anyway, that is the 10 monsters battling it out against each other. I'm obviously not gonna have a final round where all the winners go against each other because that would be really unfair and won't make any sense at all. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to know some of your thoughts on these, and if you disagree with any of these battles or the outcomes of the battles, please let me know. And yeah, let me know if you have any ideas on what monsters you would choose to battle against each other and who you think would win. I don't know why this is so interesting, but I love looking up the origin stories and like the backstories of monsters, where they came from, why they've got certain like skin or skills or abilities. It's just very interesting, and it's such a good way to geek out on this kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a different kind of battle video.